Good afternoon to you and welcome. This is Social Report on Osrc Television. My name is Oyewumi Ayinigbera. The winner of the just concluded governorship election in Ondo State, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, will address the people of Ondo State tonight at 7. The broadcast will be transmitted on all our channels: Osrc TV, Orange 94.5 FM, Social 96.5 FM, Alalaye. Listeners and viewers are enjoined to link up with our social media platforms to be part of the broadcast. It will be transmitted on Osrc TV on Facebook, Osrc TV Ondo, on YouTube, or our website www.osrc.ng. And the Independent National Electoral Commission has declared the candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, as the winner of the just concluded Ondo governorship election. The announcement follows the collation of votes from across the 18 local government areas. The returning officer for the election and Vice Chancellor, University of Lokoja, Professor Olayemi Akinwumi, said Aiyedatiwa scored the highest votes and was returned elected. Sunday Kolawole has more.
From the 203 wards across 3,933 polling units, the people of Ondo State filed out in an election to determine who governs the state in the next 4 years. After the ballots and sorting of votes, attention shifted to the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC headquarters in Akure, Ondo State capital, which served as the state collation center for the election. One after the other, electoral officers for each local government took turns to declare results from their respective areas of supervision.
PDP 7814, PRP 5.
The exercise, which spilled over into Sunday, November the 17th, was however concluded after results from the 18 local government areas were collated and announced in the presence of party agents, security operatives, as well as journalists. The returning officer for the election and Vice Chancellor, University of Lokoja, Professor Olayemi Akinwumi, took charge at exactly 1:58 p.m. to declare the final results of political parties. The All Progressives Congress APC polled 366,762 votes. The People's Democratic Party PDP polled 117,845 votes, while the Zenith Labour Party ZLP polled 2,692 votes.
Aiyedatiwa Lucky Orimisan of APC 366781.
It was then time for the official declaration of the winner.
APC, having satisfied the requirement of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected.
Agents of the All Progressives Congress APC, Ade Adetimehin, and that of the PDP, Olaniyi Ogungboji, reacted to the conduct and outcome of the election.
My take on the reaction of the election is this. There's no time the election has been highly induced like this. APC has deployed over 38 billion into this election and bind over the conscience of the electorate. Well, if this is the future of this nation or the future of the state, that we have a long way.
Can you react to the allegation that your party bought votes to be able to get this number of votes?
I've said that nobody can prove that. Nobody. What we got is what the people gave back to us. They depend so much on us. And this state is always a progressive state.
Total number of votes cast in the election was 508,963 votes, of which 497,077 votes were valid, while 11,886 votes were rejected. Sunday Kolawole, OSRC News.
And now to Salamito Ladiji has congratulated the governor of Ondo State, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, on his landslide victory in the just concluded governorship election in Ondo State. In a congratulatory message signed by the speaker, he described the victory as a testament of the love of the people of the state to the governor due to his various landmark achievements. Oladiji, who lauded the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC for conducting the most free, fair and credible election in the history of Nigeria, also expressed appreciation to the security agencies for ensuring a transparent and smooth conduct of the governorship election. The speaker maintained that the overwhelmingly won is unit and ward for APC, assuring people of his constituency that he would continue to maintain of the Understate Radio Division Corporation Osrc, Mr. Adekunle Adebayo, has congratulated Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa on his victory in the recently concluded governorship election. In a statement, Adebayo expresses admiration for the governor's success, which he described as a clear affirmation of the people's confidence Aiyedatiwa received, particularly the historic 18-0 victory over his opponent, reflects the people's satisfaction with his governance. The Osrc chairman highlighted the positive transformation witnessed in the state under Aiyedatiwa's leadership, including improved infrastructure, enhanced public services, and a focus on human capital development. While celebrating Aiyedatiwa's re-election, Adebayo also acknowledged the efforts of the governor's opponents, recognizing their role in making the election process competitive and memorable. And now to some reactions. Ondo State Governor and candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC in just concluded 2024 gubernatorial election, Lucky Aiyedatiwa says his overwhelming victory at the poll is a challenge by the people of the state to redouble efforts towards promoting overall growth and development. Governor Aiyedatiwa, who thanked and appreciated President Bola Tinubu for providing leadership and direction, also expressed gratitude to leaders of the party at all levels. The governor, who renewed his commitment to advance the state while improving the well-being and welfare of residents, promised to run inclusive administration. Government House correspondent Wahab Ankole provides more insight into the happenings at the Government House Banquet Hall in Akure.
This summed up the mood at the banquet hall of the Government House in Akure, the Ondo State capital, following the declaration of the 2024 governorship election result by the electoral body, INEC. The banquet hall hosted leaders and stalwarts of the All Progressives Congress, APC, including the national chairman, Abdullahi Ganduje, chairman of the National Campaign Council and governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and governors of Ogun, Ekiti, Imo, Benue, Zamfara, and other top government functionaries from within and outside the Sunshine State. The winner of the election and candidate of the APC, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, in his reactions, thanked God Almighty for the success. Aiyedatiwa, who also expressed gratitude to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for providing quality leadership and direction, said the people have challenged him to redouble his efforts with the massive votes and victory of his party.
The type that has never happened before in Ondo State. 18 local government to 0 for the opposition. And that also puts a lot of burden on me to be able to deliver on our promises. Not during campaign, we were not just making empty promises or what we cannot do to the people. We are making reference for them to look at what we have been able to do in the last 10 months that we assume office. That if we can do that within 10 months, giving us the mandate again to continue beyond 2025, we will do more for them. Gratitude to the citizens of Ondo State who actually decided who should remain as governor or who should be their governor. But they have made a choice and given me a renewed mandate to continue as their governor beyond the work we have done in the last 10 months since I assumed office as governor. We have touched almost every sector of the society, with our services to the people. In education, in health sector, in security, most importantly. Ondo State have been regarded or adjudged to be one of the safest and peaceful states in Nigeria. And the same thing we experienced during this last election. The election was so peaceful. And that is the character of our people. They know who they want. They know both of us in terms of our character, integrity, disposition, and what we stand for.
Aiyedatiwa renewed his commitment to make the state envy of rivals in terms of growth and development, which are promised to run inclusive administration.
The people should expect better service, and that's what they've been looking forward to, because I campaigned across the entire 18 local government. The only candidate that went through or campaigned or traversed the entire 18 local government, not just the capital city of the local government. All communities, almost all the communities, we visited them. We see the roads, the way they look like, the environment they are living in. We heard their voices, we read their messages, and we listened and responded to questions and their yearnings and aspirations. So they have that belief that their hope is in me. Value to our administration, definitely will bring them on board, irrespective of political, but the most important thing is the people, the state, the land and the people, developing the state, empowering the people, that is most important, providing an enabling environment for the state to develop by investors. That is very important in terms of adding value to developmental processes that we're going to put in place. Definitely will bring them in.
The governor reassured of his dedication to providing quality leadership while sustaining the impactful governance at all levels. Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
Meanwhile, the victory of the All Progressives Congress APC in the just concluded governorship election has been described as an indication of the acceptance of the party by the people of the state. Some leaders and members of the party at both the national and state levels, including the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, National Chairman of the party, Abdullahi Ganduje, by congratulating the standard bearer of the party for the victory, said all hands must be on deck to ensure that more dividends of good governance reach the masses. Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole again tells us more.
For the first time in the political history of the Sunshine State, the All Progressives Congress APC and its candidate concluded governorship election. Speaking with newsmen after the result was announced by the electoral umpire INEC, the Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, while congratulating the winner and his party, described the victory as a call for more service. The minister, who hails from the Sunshine State, called for more support of the people for the Aiyedatiwa administration.
Of Ondo State in the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, don't let us forget that this is the first gubernatorial election in Southwest under the Tinubu presidency. So it shows that this is a referendum of Asiwaju's leadership. It's a referendum and approval of Lucky Aiyedatiwa's leadership of Ondo State. And for me, when your president, it's been, confirmed by the people, to be acceptable. And of course, the leader of all of us in this state, our own leader, the amiable governor, and the people of Ondo State now has made a statement. During the primaries, it was partisan. It was just an APC issue. But now, it's all about all parties, even non-carrying students, the workers. Everybody had opportunity yesterday. And guess what? He set a record. No governor in the history of Ondo State, either old Ondo or new or whatever, no governor has ever scored 18-0, has ever won all our local government. He became the first man to set that mark. It shows you that the support base of APC in Ondo State is to the grassroots. It's intrinsic.
The national chairman of the party, Abdullahi Ganduje, and chairman of the National Campaign Council, who doubles as the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and other members of the party, said the APC would not betray the trust and confidence of the people of Ondo State.
That victory for him and for the people of Ondo State, for me, is just an assignment that we're grateful that the party has given us the opportunity to serve it once again, and we did continue to do the very best at all times.
And this is democracy in action. But what is more important is that all the major stakeholders in conducting this election believe that the election is free, fair, and credible.
This is the best day of the year for us. And personally, the state is going to move forward because Mr. Governor is going to show his appreciation to the people by doing infrastructure that made them happy so that they will not regret voting him for this time around.
The ruling party recorded a total of 366,781 votes to to win the governorship election. Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
And residents of Ondo states have commended the conduct of just concluded governorship elections, saying it was relatively peaceful. Those who spoke with Osrc said the exercise was peaceful, free, and fair, as residents conducted themselves with maturity before and during the exercise. Omoriola Ongbeji has the detail.
The off-cycle governorship election in Ondo State was conducted on Saturday, November 16, 2024, in all the polling units across the 18 local government areas of the state. According to the outcome of the election, All Progressives Congress won in all the 18 local government areas with 366,781 against 117,845 pulled by the People's Democratic Party. Now that the result is announced, residents heave a sigh of relief, congratulating the governor, Lucky Ayedatiwa.
Now, people have been scared or being, a little bit panic because they were aware that many things can happen during the election. But we thank God that as of today, as you can see, everybody is going back, they are resuming back to their duties, and the atmosphere is okay. So we thank God that the election was a truly go-free.
I think the election was peaceful, and everyone is currently going on. Probably tomorrow now, work is starting fully. So it was peaceful, sir. There wasn't. I think I've not heard about any violence at anywhere. So it was peaceful.
They encouraged him to reciprocate the love shown him by citizens of the state and provide more dividends of democracy.
Kó ṣe dáadáa ni o ní ìrètí mi kó because báwọn ará ìlú ti fẹ́ràn ẹ̀.
The state of this state now, we need rapid development. So, though we believe in him, and we have speak through our elections, through our vote that we trusted him.
I traveled home for the election.
Mr. Adeleye Oni was just returning from his community where he went to exercise his civic responsibility, and others wants Governor Ayedatiwa to continue with the ongoing projects of his predecessor for the growth of the state.
So there should be a continuity of those projects. I don't encourage abandoned projects because government comes, government go. If he does this now and he left some project undone, one way or the other, someone will come again. If that person abandoned his own project, how will he feel like?
Dr. Gbenga Abimbola wants the elected governor to carry all citizens along in his government, irrespective of political affiliations, to build the state.
Now that a winner has emerged, we want to urge the governor who has won the election to be magnanimous in victory and to carry everybody along. Let me appeal to those who contested the post with him. All the other candidates have.
As at the time of filing this report, businesses and economic activities have returned fully across the state. Omoriola Ongbeji, Osrc News.
In the meantime, the Center for Democracy and Development CDD West Africa and Election Observer Group for the Ondo State Governorship polls has released a preliminary statement on the conduct of the elections across the state. The lead CDD Observation Mission Ondo 2024, Professor Victor Adetula, highlighted cases of vote buying and inducement during the voting process. Joy Pius now completes the story.
The off-cycle governorship election in Ondo State was conducted on Saturday, November 16, 2020.
The Center for Democracy and Development, CDD West Africa, after the Ondo governorship election, provides journalists with insights into the electoral process as provided by observers on the field across the state. The team lead, CDD Observation Mission Ondo 2024, Professor Victor Adetula, and Director, CDD West Africa, Dr. Daudu Garba, in a preliminary statement on the conduct of the 2024 Ondo State governorship election, presented by Oluseyi Awojulugbe, a member of the group, highlighted challenges observed and assessed the overall integrity. The report commended the prompt arrival of electoral officers at polling units as well as voters' comportment during the election.
The CDD-ESC commends the prompt arrival of electoral officials at polling units, with 99% of our observers reporting that the INEC officials were at their stations before 8:30 a.m. CDD commends voters in Ondo for the calm and peaceful manner in which they have conducted themselves all through this process so far.
The report explained that the group observed the presence of security agencies at all polling units, contributing to crowd control. However, minimal efforts were made to prevent vote buying and open campaigning at the polling units.
CDD-ESC notes that 8.8% of our observers saw agents canvassing for votes near the polling units, including the presence of campaign posters, people soliciting for votes, wearing materials with party logos and materials as well as some agents actively buying votes.
The report also has it that the election recorded lower incidents of disinformation and information manipulation as compared to other polls.
The CD spaces with the objective of tracking and fact-checking fake news and misinformation. The number of false narratives, claims, and counterclaims in the Ondo State governorship election has been relatively low when compared to other recent polls.
The Center for Democracy and Development urged all stakeholders in the electoral process to ensure adherence to the rule of law and due process as the election, collation, and declaration of results lead to the point of conclusion. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
Meanwhile, the Albino Foundation South Africa has identified challenges faced by persons with disabilities in the just conducted Ondo State governorship election. The founder, South Africa, Jake Ekwele, noted that non-deployment of critical assistive tools at several polling units hindered some persons with disability from exercising their franchise. Joy Pius again reports that the foundation called for more improvements in the electoral process to ensure inclusivity and accessibility for persons with disabilities.
The Albino Foundation South Africa engaged journalists in Ondo State to give feedback on the overall assessment experience of voters with disabilities during the Ondo State governorship election. Giving the preliminary report, the founder, Albino Foundation South Africa, Jake Ekwele, reviewed critical gaps noticed and challenges encountered by persons with disabilities.
Part of our commitment to promoting the electoral rights of persons with disability in Nigeria, we deployed 20 stationary citizen observers and 5 roving media observers to select polling units with registered voters with disability across Ondo State for today's governorship election. This deployment focused on assessing the overall experience of voters with disability and ensuring compliance with the provision of Electoral Act 2022, Section 54, subsection 1 and 2.
The Foundation's Senior Communication Officer, Lynn Aguncha, outlined key observations to include vote buying and electoral malpractices, non-provision of assistive tools, and inconsistent priority vote.
Of the Electoral Act. Real ballot guide, this was not provided in polling units with registered blind voters, such as polling units St. Thomas's Church 1, PU code 029, Bogi Isikan, Akure South.
The Joint National Chairman, Association of Persons Living with Disabilities, Ondo State Chapter, Abiodun Oluwasegun, recommended the need to strengthen inclusiveness of persons with disabilities in future elections.
Train electoral officer, that is, provide comprehensive training for polling officials on the rights and needs of PWDs to eliminate inconsistencies in priority voting and ensure compliance with disability inclusive policies.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, civil society organizations, and all stakeholders were urged to work towards addressing these challenges and building a true inclusive electoral system. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
And our reactions have continued to trail the just concluded governorship elections in Ondo State and South Africa, by commending the peaceful exercise, frowned at some lapses recorded across the 3,933 polling units across the 18 local government areas of the state. Omoriola Ongeji has details.
Now that Ondo State governorship election is over, various groups are now coming up with observations, which according to them will prepare the stakeholders against subsequent exercises. South Africa, a non-governmental organization, pointed out some areas for attention to include rampant vote buying and inadequate deployment of assistive tools for PWDs, among others.
Despite explicit legal mandates, critical assistive tools such as Braille ballot guide and magnifying glasses we are glaringly absent in polling units with registered blind voters and voters with albinism. From EC40H, critical for accurately documenting PWD voter information and statistics, we are not deployed in multiple polling units, including Ward 5, Unit 008, Unit 022, and Unit 028 in Akure North. This gap hinders the accurate representation of PWDs in electoral records and planning of future elections.
It was recommended that Independent National Electoral Commission should strengthen the training of election officials to prioritize PWD's voters and enforce compliance with disability-inclusive provisions and many more.
I expect them to collaborate with stakeholders to develop accessible transportation system on election day, ensuring mobility for PWD, that is persons with disability, and the elderly.
To the media, we recommend the scale up on mainstreaming of disability inclusion in election coverage to spotlight the challenges and successes of persons with disabilities who are voters.
Chief Executive Officer of the Foundation, J.K. Pell, who was of the belief that the Ondo State election has illuminated significant gaps in the inclusion of persons with disabilities in Nigerian electoral process, called for more efforts for subsequent exercises.
South Africa reiterates its commitment to advocating for an electoral system that truly embodies the principles of equity, accessibility, and inclusivity. As Nigeria prepares for future elections, we urge all stakeholders to prioritize disability inclusion not